Yo, sometimes life calls for a change. Not fake, just different. It'll show you a different way. And right now, I'm on my different way. I can promise you this is the same Spann, but the reporting is over. I'd like to welcome you to the Mr. Spann official podcast. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Spann official podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Spann, and this is episode number 47 of this show. And yo, man, we are right back at it, right back in the groove of things, man. We were on the mic here last night. I had the homie Randolph Terrence here from the Three Guys On podcast, man, and with the news of the day really being Donald Trump's assassin or somebody attempting to assassinate Donald Trump, that kind of dominated much of what the discussion was. And I mean, we kind of talked around some of the politics and everything else, but that was predominantly what we talked about yesterday. And to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna be talking a lot about that kind of shit today, right? Because there's a lot of we some more news has kind of come out, and narratives are being formed and everything else. But we are going to talk about how the media has been like trying to frame some of these things as this information comes out, right? So this is about to be a whole big this you sort of episode, man, because I'm really like, I'm just not liking some of the shit that I'm seeing, right? But of course, before I get into all of that, I do have to remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Mr. Spann official podcast and let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. Those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also email us here, feedback@thespannreport.com. That's feedback@thespannreport.com. Go ahead, leave us those emails, and of course, those emails will get right here, reply to here live as well. Follow me on Threads and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there. Chop it up with your man Spann throughout the week. Also, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify, man. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get right here live in the show. We really appreciate everybody who goes about the business of doing that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann official podcast and the Spann Report podcast network in its entirety, right? Also, if you're watching us via YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, man. Become a part of the family, and also leave us some comments, man. Sometimes, when the comments are pertinent to what we got going on, man. We appreciate those who contribute to the conversation, and those comments will be highlighted, and we'll respond to those comments here live on the show as well, man. So thank you for you guys who do that, and for those of you who are watching on Facebook, same thing, man. You can go ahead, leave those comments, and we'll reply to those comments here live on the show, man. So there's a plethora of different ways for you to get your voice heard over here at the Mr. Spann official podcast, man. Real talk. So yeah, man, we got the business out of the way. Now, like I said, today's show is going to be a big this you, because one of the things that has been happening over the course of the last 24 hours after the alleged, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump has been a call. There's been a call lately for there to be, a toning down of the political rhetoric, all across the board, right? Like, and folks are saying this like, well, we really got to tone it down. Our politics has gotten really hot, and the language has gotten really hot, and it's on both sides. We got to be fair to both sides. And to that, I call bullshit. To that, I'm calling straight up bullshit. I don't believe that there is a equivalent to the levels of dangerous political rhetoric that has been being meted out in the world, right? Like I'll just say this, right? One of the things that those on the right would say is that, when people on the left look at Donald Trump and they say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, they act as though we didn't see what the fuck we saw. They act as though we just did. Nigga,
did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there. It's on your nose.
We didn't, as if we did not watch there be an insurrection on the Capitol on January 6th, 2021. Like we didn't see that. Like we haven't seen Donald Trump say that there will be a bloodbath if he loses this year, right? Like this is the type of shit that they've been saying, right? So one of the things that really made me decide that I was going to hit the mic today, I woke up this morning and I was watching a local Detroit news program called Flashpoint, and it's mostly it's like Detroit area politics and stuff like that. And of course they were talking about some of the rhetoric that had been that kind of maybe led up to what happened to Donald Trump yesterday, right? So I'm going to show you guys this clip, and it's this clip here that really animated me to be like, you know what, I'm gonna talk again about this shit today. It's just gonna happen. I know it is. I can't sit with this shit just sitting out here like that. Like I didn't see what the fuck I saw, and I haven't been seeing what the fuck I've saw. And like it's this level of gaslighting that people on the right do that really sticks in my fucking craw. It really does. So let me pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann. Hold on just a second while I get this here queued up. And yeah, let me do this. Boom. And I'm gonna highlight that one. We gonna switch spots, or are we? Okay, here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's what we gonna do. All right, so check this out, y'all.
Jason, I guess the question becomes, do we have a healing moment coming here, or do we just split even further now that we've gotten it? It's gotten this far.
I do think it'll have a chilling effect on the rhetoric on both sides. And, to me, it's not a surprise that it happened. It's a surprise that it took this long to happen. I mean, I think the corporate media nationally has been so reckless since Donald Trump came down that escalator. And, I was Marco Rubio's spokesman in 2016. I rarely did an interview about Marco Rubio. I always did an interview about Donald Trump because the corporate media really enjoyed the clicks, the views, the subscriptions, the listeners, the readers that they attracted by, the whole Trump phenomenon.
Now, on this point, I agree with him. On this, I agree with him. I do believe that the media, in large part, were so addicted to all the minutia and the craziness that came with Donald Trump, and the attention that he was getting was allowing for them to monetize on that attention, and therefore they kept putting Trump forward. That's why, like in 2016, when Trump was running for president against Hillary Clinton, there was talk about how much free advertising Donald Trump got, the equivalent of how much free advertising he got, because of all of the news coverage that he was getting that was outsized over everyone else, not even just in the Republican field, but in the Democratic field as well.
And they never thought he could win. And then he won. And then it was immediately pivoting to monetizing, all of the hatred towards him. I mean, you had a march calling for his impeachment the day before he took the oath of office. And so this rhetoric has gotten so over the top. And it's on both sides, to be fair. There's certainly the same
I was going to say he's responsible for some of it, isn't he?
There's without question. But what we have been told by the media over time is that the violent rhetoric on the left is not that big a deal. On the right, though, that's where the big problem is. But most of the violence that we've seen, political violence in the last several years, has been towards people on the right. You've got the congressional shooting that nearly killed Steve Scalise. You've got this. But we have the FBI telling us.
Wait a second. He named one example. The congressional shooting of Steve Scalise, the congressman from Louisiana, right? Did he forget what happened with Gabby Giffords not too long ago, where she was not only shot in the head, but there were also 19 other people that got shot right along with her at a strip mall in Arizona? Her husband is now the senator out of Arizona. I believe is something Scott. I'm forgetting his name right now. But that was someone attacking a left-wing person, right? And so, like, it's not just Steve Scalise, but it's, Gabby Giffords too. Let's not leave that out.
Us that the real risk to our domestic security is parents at school board meetings and white racists, but that's not what we have seen play out in the actual violence that we're seeing.
I can say that in Michigan, where,
and that's where I was like, all right, this is how they trying to frame this shit now, right? They're really going to try to equivocate on all of this, and like, come on, man, because again.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there. It's on your nose.
Yeah, man. So that activated me today to where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be on the mic today. I know I am. So one of the things that I was thinking about when it came to, you know, the Republicans really trying to equivocate on the rhetoric, because like it really just did not sit well with me how he was trying to equivocate that. The other part about it is this. Joe Biden has come out twice already. He's come out twice already, and he's given statements on not only what happened to Donald Trump, he's condemned what happened to Donald Trump, and he's also articulated ways in which he wants to further protect Donald Trump. Now, this is a political rival. This is a man who stated that Donald Trump has stated he wants to lock the fuck up, right? But Joe Biden has actually come out, condemned the violence that happened, and made statements about what he's going to be doing to protect Donald Trump. So let me pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me. Hold on, let me take that down. Because, let's exit that one. And let me pull this up because I think it's important that we actually have the context of what's going on, right? Because, you know, they say this shit as if we can't see what's going on. And I'll be damned. I'll be goddamn. So, let me do this here. Pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me here. All right. So this is President Biden earlier today. This is him earlier today speaking on the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Here we go.
Good afternoon. Last night, I spoke with Donald Trump. I'm sincerely grateful that he's doing well and recovering, and we had a short but good conversation.
Okay, right off top, that's more than what Donald Trump did for Mike Pence. Y'all remember when there was that riot up at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, where there were Trump supporters talking about hanging Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how long it took for Donald Trump to actually make a statement? Did he actually ever ask anybody, hey, how's Mike doing? Is Mike safe? No, he never did. He never did. In fact, this motherfucker suggested that maybe he deserves it. Joe Biden has already done more for Donald Trump than Donald Trump did for his own motherfucking vice president.
Jill and I are keeping him and his family in our prayers. We also extend our deepest condolences to the family of the victim who was killed. He was a father. He was protecting his family from the bullets that were being fired, and he lost his life. God love him. We're also praying for the full recovery of those who were injured, and we're grateful to the Secret Service agents and other law enforcement agencies and individuals who risked their lives literally for our nation. As I said last night, there is no place in America for this kind of violence, or any violence for that matter. An assassination attempt is contrary to everything we stand for as a nation, everything. It's not who we are as a nation. It's not America. And we cannot allow this to happen. Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity. We'll debate and we'll disagree. That's not going to change, but we're going to not lose sight, in fact, who we are as Americans. Look, Vice President Harris and I were just briefed in the Situation Room by my Homeland Security team, including the Director of the FBI, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Attorney General, the Director of the Secret Service, my Homeland Security Advisor, the National Security Advisor, and we're going to continue to be briefed. The FBI is leading this investigation, which is still in its early stages. We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is.
Now, we also know, although we don't know the motive of the shooter, you know, online, people ain't going to wait on that, right? Like, people online are not going to wait to actually know what the motive was. People are online are already formulating what they think is happening. I mean, truthfully speaking, when me and Randolph were on the mics last night. We did a bunch of speculating last night. All of this shit was new to us, and we were just kind of going off of our feel of what it was. And just like I said, the episode was titled, "It Don't Feel Right." Something about this doesn't feel right. And so, folks were out talking, and people are creating narratives around it. But ultimately, we don't know what old boy was up to or why he decided to do what he was going to do, right? There's conflicting, well, not even so much conflicting reports. There's the idea that there's like conflicting allegiances that this young man supposedly had. Like he was a registered Republican, but he donated $15 to a left-leaning political organization. So, what was it? What animated him to feel as though this was something that he needed and wanted to do?
I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job. I'm instructed that this investigation be thorough and swift, and the investigators will have every resource they need to get this done. Look, as this investigation continues, here's what we're going to do. First, Mr. Trump, as a former president and nominee of the Republican Party, already receives a heightened level of security. And I've been consistent in my direction to the Secret Service to provide him with every resource, capability, and protective measure necessary to ensure his continued safety. Second, I've directed the head of the Secret Service to review all security measures for the Republican National Convention, which is scheduled to start tomorrow. And third, I've directed an independent review of the national security at yesterday's rally to assess exactly what happened. And we'll share the results of that independent review with the American people as well. And finally, I'll be speaking more about this tonight at greater length from the Oval Office. We must unite as one nation.
Now understand, he's already spoken about this once. This is the second time he's spoken about it. He's going to be giving an Oval Office address later to the nation sometime tonight, right? Again, not only has he done more for Donald Trump than Donald Trump did for his own vice president, but also when it comes to the talk about we need to tone down the political rhetoric, it damn sure ain't coming from Joe Biden. It damn sure ain't coming. But I can tell you who it is coming from. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out here on Twitter wilding. And it's not as if we don't expect for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be out here wilding. Just kind of what she does. We all kind of expect for Marjorie Taylor Greene to be out here off the cuff, talking wild and crazy. This is what she does, right? But this let me see if I can pull this up so you guys can see what Marjorie is talking about, because she wilding and it's what she does, and we at this point we kind of used to it. But let me pull this up so you guys can see real quick. Let's see. Here we go. And I'm pull this tweet up here. See if I can maximize this. Let me make this bigger. There we go. All right. Pray for America. The left wants a civil war. They have been trying to start one for years. These people are sick and evil. All of us on the right want peace, security, equal justice, freedom, and prosperity for all Americans. Trying times ahead. Hold fast to your faith and God. The left wants civil war. We aren't the ones out here advocating for a civil war. We aren't the ones advocating for a secession from the country. That's usually a right-wing thing. Very seldom do you find people on the left advocating for any of this shit, right? But this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about. Here's another one that she had. Let me pull that down. I'm gonna pull this other one up so you guys can see this one too. But let me do this here. All right. And here's her other one. Democrats wanted this to happen. They've wanted Trump gone for years, and they're prepared to do anything to make that happen. Just as Congress, Representatives Troy Carter, Barbara Lee, Frederica Wilson, Yvette Clarke, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Jasmine Crockett, Joyce Beatty, and Steve Cohen all co-sponsored legislation to terminate Trump's Secret Service protection. Why would they want that? You know the reason. I mean, I don't know. Probably because this dude is a convicted felon, right? Very few convicted felons walk around with bodyguards paid for by the motherfucking government. I mean, it very seldom happens. I'm pretty sure this is probably the only time it's ever happened. You can't even get a job at McDonald's half the times with a felony on your record. And here we are contemplating whether or not a dude who has been convicted of a felony 34 times is going to be eligible to be president of the United fucking States. Right? She says others may have been killed, innocent people that were supporting President Trump, and all they wanted was to make America great again, and they had been murdered for it. No, they weren't murdered for that. They weren't murdered for that. But also, if we're talking about keeping the political rhetoric down and trying to bring the temperature down on this, what the fuck was your intentions on naming all of these congressional people? What were you planning? What did you think you were going to gain from that? What was that about, really? Because to those who are on the right, who will be animated by whatever happens, especially something like an attempt on Donald Trump's life, you don't think that these particular people wouldn't also start having to fear for their lives as well? Because you just suggested that they wanted Donald Trump to be assassinated and they were trying to set it up so that he could be assassinated. So again, when we start talking about, hey, it's the rhetoric on both sides. Nah, it's not. It's really fucking not. And I'm not going to be gaslit into believing that it is so. And so when I hear all these Republicans coming out talking about, like the dude at in the original video on Flashpoint, where he's talking about, we hearing about white supremacists and people who are coming to PTA meetings or school board meetings are a threat. Like, yeah, because we've seen these motherfuckers be threats. We've watched it happen. Right? So you got that going on. Here's another thing that's going on, man, I thought was interesting. Let me pull this down here. Here's another thing I saw earlier today. Have any of you guys ever heard of Blue Anon?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything.
Yeah, man. So Blue Anon is apparently a thing where those on the left who are questioning the legitimacy of whether or not it was an actual assassination attempt, it's an equivocation of the QAnon conspiracy, right? So the Washington Post decided to write an article on Blue Anon conspiracies. Okay. And I'm gonna read a little bit from this article because I think it's quite hilarious. The equivocation, the level of trying to make these things on the level when they're just not. Let's see. We get this story again. Like I said, this comes out of the Washington Post. It says minutes after Saturday's shooting at the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, liberals began flooding social media platforms with conspiracy theories. They claimed the blood on former President Donald Trump's ear was from a theatrical gel pack, that the shooting was a false flag, perhaps coordinated by the Secret Service in collaboration with the Trump campaign, that the scene of a bloody Trump raising his fist under the American flag was staged. When did Secret Service start allowing the president under duress to tell them to wait, then stand up to be seen by the crowd fist pumping? One user posted on X. Can you blame me for thinking this is fake? Listen here, man. This very same Washington Post outlet, this very same newspaper told all of us that Donald Trump, while he was president, lied over 30,000 times. So you'll have to forgive the people when they see something like this and they don't believe what they're seeing because of who they're seeing it happen to. It's the whole boy that cried wolf story all over again. This motherfucker has been known to lie, right? He's been known to lie. So you'd have to forgive us. I mean, even I was skeptical in the beginning. You guys I'm sure y'all heard how skeptical I was last night. I'm like, yo, that don't even sound like an AR-15. That sounds like a .22 long rifle to me. I've been to a presidential event where I had to go through security and I had to have my car search for bombs and shit like that, where I went through the metal detectors and everything else. I was with my father-in-law. He's on a walker and they're checking the walker to make sure the walker doesn't have anything in it. So like, it was highly improbable to most people to believe that anybody with a fucking AR-15 could get that close to a presidential candidate this late in the process. And they're calling those folks Blue Anon because they're skeptical of who is happening to and how it happened, and also because of the level of security that someone of a Donald Trump's level would have, how in the fuck do y'all let that happen? People ain't believing that. But they calling this Blue Anon, right? It says the shooting threw into overdrive, a phenomenon dubbed Blue Anon, a play on the right-wing conspiracy theory QAnon that refers to liberal conspiracy theories online. As more Americans lose trust in mainstream institutions and turn to partisan commentators and influencers for information, experts say that they are seeing a big uptick in the manufacture and spread of Blue Anon conspiracy theories, a sign that the communal warping of reality is no longer occurring primarily on the right. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. All this is a contingent of the public who have known Donald Trump to lie quite often, to have a situation where he comes out looking very fucking heroic after an assassination attempt, and people believe that this was like, they believe it was a ploy. And the media, to some degree, has helped foster this idea of this possibly being a ploy because of how often we know Donald Trump to lie, and the media telling us how often Donald Trump is known to lie. So the idea that in 24 hours, Blue Anon has popped up, it's like, nah, man, people are skeptical because of all the bullshit they've been fed. That's all. And to come like, it wasn't as if, like, you know, a bunch of folks on the left was like, hey man, so we got to figure out a way to spin this one. Especially when the guy who's accused of shooting at Donald Trump is a registered Republican. So how does this benefit the left in any sort of way? One of the things I do find interesting, and part of the reason why I think also some folks on the left would be skeptical of why this would be a true story or not, was, I mean, if we're being frank, since this happened, how much have we talked about Project 2025 at all? How much is Project 2025 being spoken about right now? It's been wall-to-wall coverage of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. And I'm not saying that it's not worthy of the wall-to-wall coverage, but I am saying that, like, yo, they're giving us news and they don't even have anything to really tell us. They don't even have any new developments, but it's wall-to-wall coverage. We're hearing about, you know, hey, okay, so we found this dude that went to school with the shooter, and he said the school, like, he was bullied in school. Oh, okay. Well, he's 20 years old. How long ago was he in school? And why are we talking about this dude that he went to school with who said he was getting bullied? What the fuck does that have to do with what's happening right now? But we getting that news coverage. We're getting that coverage. Let's see. We got some comments here in the chat room here. Courtney chimes in. She said, also Agenda 47. You're going to have to educate me on Agenda 47. I'm sure it's got something to do with Donald Trump, and I'm sure it's probably connected to Project 2025, but I'm going to need to read up a little bit more on that. And Courtney also chimes in to say that they're not reporters anymore. I mean, that's debatable, right? That's debatable. I really feel as though to a large degree, they're filling airtime because, again, if you can get this wall-to-wall coverage, this goes back to the idea that, first of all, if it bleeds, it leads. That's always been an idiom of a lot of the mainstream media and everything else. If it bleeds, it leads. But also the monetization of all of this, right? The commercials that they're able to play while they're, hey, we'll be right back. We gotta go commercial real quick, but we're gonna be right back, and it's right back to the same old thing. So the idea is really just the idea that people on the left are now Blue Anon because they're skeptical after being fed all the reasons in the world to be skeptical of this man. I think it's a slap in the face to the people whom you would consider to be consumers. Because they're not just pulling this out of there. I mean, yeah, some people are. Some people probably is, right? even when me and Randolph were talking about this last night, one of the things we kept saying, like, we can't prove this stuff to be true. We don't know this to be true. It just doesn't feel right. Right? We were speculating. Don't know this to be true. Just don't feel right. Something about this just don't feel right. Feels like some bullshit. It feels like a way to garner this man a level of sympathy that he wouldn't normally get. And also, there's this idea that folks are saying that, like, well, shit, this just won Trump, this just won him the presidency. And it's like, I mean, no, not really. Because I don't know anybody who, because this motherfucker got shot, is like, yo, man, shit, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really rocking with Trump before, nigga, but, they busting caps with this nigga now, man. So, I mean, I guess he got my vote now, man. He got to be on the up and up if they busting at him. I don't know anybody who's just said, like, who really thinks that way. The people who are going to vote for Donald Trump were already going to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not hearing anything differently. And like I said last night, I don't know what, I honestly don't understand. I'll say that. I don't understand an undecided voter at this juncture, considering what we've seen, considering all of the things that have happened in this country over the last 8 years with this man in the political realm. I don't know how you're undecided at this point. So I don't think that, like, anybody who decides that they're going to vote for Donald Trump are voting for Donald Trump after he got shot. I don't believe it was because he got shot. I believe they were always going to vote for Donald Trump. They were leaning that way to begin with. I don't know anybody who was genuinely thinking about Joe Biden and Donald Trump and like, well, they popped Trump, so let me go ahead and vote for him and disregard Joe Biden, right? Suddenly him being shot at makes him more presidential. Make that make sense to me, because I don't know. Right? Now, of course, some folks on the internet, don't take shit seriously. I mean, I seen motherfuckers on Twitter and on threads and stuff like that, and they posting shit like this.
Hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You be aight, nigga. You tough, right?
Right? Like, I seen people posting shit like that. I've seen motherfuckers posting, like, 50 Cent's Many Men. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they done Photoshop Trump's head on 50's Get Rich or Die Trying album. Now 50, is trending online and shit like that. We don't take shit seriously in this country, man. We don't. But also, to suggest that people are those who are skeptical of Donald Trump's, being assassinated, or the attempt of Donald Trump being assassinated, I just think that was a slap in the face, and the Washington Post should be ashamed of themselves for even posting this bullshit, right? Now, when it comes to the other part, one of these things I was thinking about was the pattern of political violence in America the last few years. This is one of the things I was like, when I was going through, I'm like, wait, y'all acting as if this shit is equivalent, and it's not. And one of the things I thought about was Cesar Sayoc. Y'all remember Cesar Sayoc? He was the guy that some years ago, he was sending pipe bombs to Hillary Clinton, to Joe Biden, to Barack Obama. He was sending pipe bombs to all of Trump's political enemies, right? He had a truck, a van, I want to say it was a van, and he had the van wrapped in Trump graphics, like all Trump shit, all over his fucking van. And they had to sentence this man to 20 years for sending these pipe bombs. So let me pull this story up. This comes, I got this out of NBC News, and this is from 2019, August 5th, 2019. It says a Florida man who pleaded guilty to sending more than a dozen pipe bombs to prominent critics of President Donald Trump last year was sentenced Monday to 20 years in prison. Cesar Sayoc, an ardent Trump supporter, sent homemade bombs made of PVC pipe and hard shards and glass shards to prominent Democrats, including Hillary Clinton and former President Barack Obama, as well as actor Robert De Niro and CNN headquarters in New York, according to authorities. No one was hurt and none of the bombs detonated. Sayoc pleaded guilty in March to 65 counts, which included using weapons of mass destruction and the illegal mailing of explosives with intent to kill or injure. He faced up to life in prison. I mean, considering how old this dude looks in his picture, he probably will do life if he got 60 years, not 20 years. So Judge Jed Rakoff said in his sentencing memo that Sayoc became obsessive and paranoid, which was made worse by steroid abuse. Damn, he was on roids. I ain't know that. And he said he believes Sayoc intentionally designed the bombs so they would not detonate. There were some sort of mitigating factors that kept Sayoc from life in prison, according to the sentencing memo. But yeah, this dude was sending pipe bombs on behalf of Donald Trump to Donald Trump's political enemies. Y'all remember when Donald Trump at his rallies was telling people he like punched them in the face, and he would like pay y'all, you know, he would pay their legal bills and shit when they were at those Trump rallies back in 2015, 2016. Yeah, punch him in the face. Like back in the day, yeah, they'd be put on a stretcher. You remember that shit? This is what he was doing back then. So you got that going on. That was one of the things I'm like, man, remember that when that happened? Remember when that happened? Here's another one. Remember just a couple years ago, Paul Pelosi. Paul Pelosi was the husband, or is the husband, of former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Now, he was attacked at home by a Trump supporter. Got bashed in the head with a hammer while at home in his underwear. And I remember folks like Donald Trump Jr. posting about him being attacked at home, suggesting that Paul Pelosi was his lover that he got attacked by because he was at home in his underwear. And he posted on Twitter something about like a hammer and some tidy whities and said that is his costume for Halloween. That's what he did, right? It wasn't just him though. It wasn't just him. Donald Trump also mocked Paul Pelosi in this. It wasn't just, I'm sorry. It was, let's see, we got this. Yeah. Okay. So Donald Trump, we get this story here. This is out of Yahoo News. This was September 30th of 2023. So this was last year. Former President Donald Trump drew laughs from California Republicans on Friday after he ripped Nancy Pelosi and mocked her husband, Paul Pelosi, over a brutal hammer attack against him. We'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? Said Trump in remarks at a California GOP convention. And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job. This is Donald Trump. It's what he said after Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked brutally in his home, right? But he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one. We also got who was this? The kook out of Arizona, Carrie Lake, the woman who was running for governor of Arizona. She also mocked Paul Pelosi after this attack. Let me see. Is there video to this? Because this is NBC News. Let me see if there's video to this. Yes, there is video to this. So I'm gonna pull this video up so you guys can watch right along with your man Spann, because that's what we do here. Let's see what the hell Carrie Lake had to say about this.
Increase school safety, and how so?
I believe with the last budget, Wendy, not if I'm right, was about $50 million put into increasing school safety with school resource officers, armed officers, to make sure we're protecting our kids. It is not impossible to protect our kids at school. They act like it is. Nancy Pelosi, well, she's got protection when she's in D.C. Apparently her house doesn't have a lot of protection. But if our lawmakers have protection, if our lawmakers can have protection, if our politicians can have protection, if our athletes, then certainly the most important people in our lives, our children, should have protection.
All right, so y'all heard what happened there. Those folks burst out in chuckles. They burst out in laughter when that happened to Paul Pelosi. They thought it was a fucking game. They thought it was a joke. It was all jokes when it came to what happened to Paul Pelosi, despite the fact that this man isn't even an elected official. He's a private individual. His wife is an elected official. He gets attacked at home, and Republicans thought it was comedy hour when that happened to him. So, like, yeah, you got that going on, right? Let's see. We got another one here. What's another one here? Yeah, I remember this here too, right? Y'all remember the poll workers out of Georgia, Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman? So Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman had their lives turned upside down by not only Donald Trump, but Rudy Giuliani, right? Rudy Giuliani suggested that these women were stuffing ballots in Georgia, and that was part of the reason why Donald Trump lost the election in Georgia. And it's part of the reason why Donald Trump was on the phone with the Secretary of State in Georgia, suggesting that they needed to find 11,780 votes so that he would win that state and he would take it from Joe Biden, right? But in the meantime, these women had their lives turned upside down. They were getting death threats, right? So we're going to pull this up. Let me see if I got this. Where Where's my video here? Because I know I got it. All right, so we get this here. This also comes out of NBC News. And let's see. I think there's a video of Ruby Freeman. Okay, we're going to do this here. We're not going to support right now. But let me do this so I can pull this up so you guys can watch right along with me. Because this is actually something that they talked about during the January 6th hearings. Here's Shay Moss speaking on what happened to her. Whoops.
Your proud service as an election worker took a dramatic turn on the day that Rudy Giuliani publicized a video of you and your mother counting ballots on election night. President Trump, Rudy Giuliani, and others claimed on the basis of this video that you and your mother were somehow involved in a plot to kick out observers, bring suitcases of false ballots for Biden into the arena, and then run them through the machines multiple times. None of that was true, was it?
None of it.
I'd like to show you some of the statements that Rudy Giuliani made in a second hearing before the Georgia state legislators, a week after that video clip from State Farm Arena was first circulated by Mr. Giuliani and President Trump. I want to advise viewers that these statements are completely false and also deeply disturbing.
Tape earlier in the day of Ruby Freeman and Shay Freeman Moss and one other gentleman quite obviously surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine. I mean, it's obvious to anyone who's a criminal investigator or prosecutor they are engaged in surreptitious illegal activity again that day. And that's a week ago, and they're still walking around Georgia lying. They should have been questioned already. Their places of work, their homes should have been searched for evidence of ballots, for evidence of USB ports, for evidence of voter fraud.
That video was from Rudy Giuliani's appearance at a Georgia State Senate hearing on December 10. How did you become?
Now, here's the thing, right? Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. Ruby Freeman, as a matter of fact, had someone show up at her home. The woman that showed up at her home actually was associated with Kanye West at one point. I believe she was one of his publicists or some shit like that. And she showed up at this woman's home and told her that she needed to come forward and confess what she did. Confess what she did, otherwise there would be trouble. Not only did she do that, but there were also strangers popping up at this lady's home, knocking on her door, telling her that she should be punished for what she allegedly did because of what Rudy Giuliani went out there and said about her, because of what Donald Trump went out there and said about her. None of the shit was true. And in fact, Rudy Giuliani was sued, and he now owes Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss millions of dollars, right? At one point, Ruby Freeman went forward and said, like, yo, the president of the United States is supposed to protect Americans. Here he is attacking me. She didn't do anything wrong but her job. Ruby Freeman reminds me of my grandmother. Reminds me of my granny. So the idea that the rhetoric has been even-handed is bullshit. It's bullshit. I remember all of this stuff. It's like they don't think that.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there. It's on your nose.
It's on your nose, man. We can see you. We can see you. How about this, man? How about this? Y'all remember this? There was a whole ass kidnapping plot. They was going to kidnap the governor of Michigan because of COVID restrictions during the pandemic. Y'all remember this? I'm sure y'all remember this, right? They had a whole thing, man. It was some dudes. They got caught up. They got convicted of trying to kidnap the governor. We get this story. Oh, this is a news story. Let me pull this up. You can watch this. I mean, we got videos. It's all over the fucking. Come on, man. We can see y'all. This is It's crazy. It's really crazy.
We're following breaking news out of Michigan right now. The two men charged with plotting to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer have been found guilty. Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. planned to abduct the Democratic governor from her vacation home. That was back in 2020. Let's bring in NBC News Now correspondent Stephen Romo now with more on this. So, Stephen, talk to us about what happened in court today and the verdict we got.
Yeah, Aaron, this case, hard to forget. This is actually the second trial for these men, Adam Fox and Barry Croft Jr. Their first trial in April ended in a mistrial. So this time around, the jury deliberated for 8 hours. These two men were described by prosecutors as the ringleaders of that plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. They wanted to take her from her summer home, which they actually scouted out with undercover agents unbeknownst to them, and then to blow up a bridge to get away. They were also found guilty of conspiring to obtain a weapon of mass destruction for part of that plan. The crux of the prosecutor's argument was that this wasn't simply a plan to kidnap the governor, but part of a larger plot to instigate a second civil war in America. Lawyers for the government showed text messages and social media posts to that effect. We don't know yet how they will be sentenced on this, Aaron.
Yeah, so that whole thing happened, right? But it's the equivalency. We got to tone it down on both sides. Donald Trump is a threat to the democracy because we did see this motherfucker lead a whole insurrection to the Capitol. Motherfuckers was out here. First they be back in the blue, supposedly. They back the blue. But they only back the blue when the blue ain't telling them like, y'all on some bullshit. Right? Because they was whooping the hell out of those police officers in January 6th. They was beating the hell out of them dudes. Some of them was losing fingers, some of them losing eyes and shit. And they talk about that one dummy that just acted as though like she didn't see the gun pointed at her if she broke that damn barricade. It was Ashley Babbitt, that's her name. That kook. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, was it the white privilege? I don't know. That made her think that they wouldn't dare shoot me. Bah! They shot her ass. And now they try to use her. They try to act as though she's a martyr. While she was breaking the fucking law, right? She was breaking the law. She's a martyr. Come on, man. Come on. They act as though we can't see this shit. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. We just saw Nikki Haley in Israel signing bombs, right? Signing bombs, basically promoting the genocide over in Israel with the Israeli war against Hamas, right? So where's this story? I know I got it. Yeah, here we go. We get this story here. This comes out of the Washington Post. Nikki Haley, the former Republican presidential candidate and UN ambassador, wrote, "Finished them on an artillery shell during a days-long trip to Israel." So Nikki Haley took a purple pen, crouched down in a tactical vest, and signed an artillery shell while visiting Israel this week. "Finish them," she wrote. The former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and Republican presidential candidate penned the message Tuesday while touring an artillery station along Israel's northern border with Lebanon. It was part of a days-long trip to the country, during which she has met with families and some of the roughly 1,200 people killed, and 253 taken hostages when Hamas attacked on October 7th. Haley toured the wreckage caused by the attack and visited the site of the Nova Music Festival in southern Israel, where partygoers were killed and kidnapped. This is the rhetoric that they're promoting, though. Kill them is what she said. And let me see if I can pull this picture up so you guys can watch, or you guys can see her signing this artillery shell. And yeah, let me pull this up so you guys can see. She wrote, "Finish them" on that shell. This is and we're being lectured to by these people to say that we need to pipe down we need to turn the temperature down on the political rhetoric. These are who we're talking to. These are the people that we're talking to. The hypocrisy is like fucking, it knows no bounds, man. It really knows no bounds. Now, here's another story. How about this one? Yeah, how about this one? Why is Mitt Romney paying more money for for security? Why is he?
I'll be a monkey's bare-assed uncle.
Why also would Liz Cheney be paying more money for security? Why would she? Why would she have to do that? What would drive them to need to spend their own personal fortunes in order to protect themselves? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We're going to get this story here from the Business Insider. It says that Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, and other GOP lawmakers who criticized Trump or voted to impeach him have spent tens of thousands of dollars on private security. It says prominent lawmakers spent tens of thousands of dollars on private security guards and other protection following the Capitol riots, a Punchbowl News analysis of campaign finance records show. These members of Congress include many Republicans who voted to impeach former President Donald Trump in the wake of the January 6th insurrection. Members of Congress who are permitted to spend campaign funds on personal security protection. In 100 days after the insurrection, lawmakers have faced increased death threats and potential dangers to their safety, creating an urgent need for more security. Senator Mitt Romney, a longtime Trump critic and the sole Senate Republican to vote to convict Trump in both of his Senate impeachment trials, spent over $46,000 on security protection at home in Utah. Another Republican who voted to convict Trump during his second impeachment trial, Senator Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, spent nearly $70,000 to fortify his home, the most of any lawmaker in Punchbowl's analysis. Toomey is retiring and not running for re-election in 2022. And Representative Liz Cheney, the third highest ranking House Republican who has become a target of Trump-backed effort to oust her from office after she spoke out against the former president, has spent over $50,000 on private security provided by former Secret Service agents. Two other House Republicans who voted to impeach Trump, Representative John Katko of New York and Representative Anthony Gonzalez of Ohio, spent nearly $20,000 and $15,000 respectively on bolstering their home security. Prominent Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has spent $45,000 from her sizable campaign war chest on private security. And Representative Eric Swalwell of California, one of the impeachment managers who prosecuted the case against Trump, put $44,000 towards services from a Virginia-based security firm. Why in the fuck would they need to do that? Why would they need to do that? And why and who is the common denominator and why these people needed this extra security? Who are the folks calling them with the death threats? Who are the folks making it where these people working on behalf of the people are feeling unsafe in their jobs? These are the same people that say, hey, we need to bring the temperature down. It's the same, both sides are doing it. No, both sides aren't fucking doing it. Here's another example. Here's another example. This one here is actually very blatant, man. And it's like, considering what we've just been, subject to for the better part of the last 48 to 72 hours, this just didn't age well. This shit here aged like fucking milk on the sidewalk on a hot summer day. Straight up, just did. So the guy who's running for for governor in North Carolina, a fellow by the name of Mark Robinson. We've talked about him on the Mr. Man Official podcast here before. He has gone out of his way to talk, real reckless. He's been real reckless in his speech, man. So much so that he actually suggested that people need to get shot. All right, I'm trying to find my video here because I know I got it. Oh yeah, here we go. I know I got it. But this is Mark Robinson saying some people need killing. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see what the hell Mark Robinson got to say. Because again, this is all about, it's both sides, y'all. It's both sides. Fuck out of here.
It was a time when we used to meet evil on the battlefield, and guess what we did to it? We killed it. We didn't quibble about it. We didn't argue about it. We didn't fight about it. We killed it. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, what did we do? We flew to Japan, and we killed the Japanese Army and Navy. We didn't even quibble about it. I didn't start this fight. You did. You wanted to be left alone. You should have left me alone. We didn't argue and capitulate and talk about, well, maybe we shouldn't fight the Nazis that hard. No, they're bad. Kill them. Some liberal somewhere is going to say that sounds awful. Too bad.
Listen to him. Now, you can tell, I'll say this.
Get mad at
I'll say this. There's a couple of ladies in the front here who I think, you know, they're a little uncomfortable with this rhetoric right now. And I don't think they are. I wouldn't say that all of these people are suggesting that this is good language and good rhetoric. You can see the uncomfortableness in their faces and in their body language and everything else. But you don't see the people in the congregation, because he's in a church saying this. I don't know what part of Jesus' message was kill them. As a matter of fact, I could have sworn one of those commandments said, thou shalt not kill. This man is standing in a pulpit talking about kill them. That's the irony in all of this. And even though they try to wrap themselves up in patriotism and being Christians and stuff, Jesus wasn't around here talking about go kill them. That wasn't Jesus' message. But that's what he's saying from the pulpit. This is probably why we need to tax churches, because he's actually being overtly political in a religious setting. But this is what he's advocating. We need to kill him. There's more.
At me if you want to. Some folks need killing. It's time for somebody to say it.
Yeah, that lady.
It's not a matter of vengeance.
That lady in the blue shirt.
Not a matter of being mean or spiteful. It's a matter of necessity. We have wicked people doing wicked things, torturing and murdering and raping. It's time to call out those guys in green and go have them handle, or those boys in blue and have them go handle it. We need to start handling our business again, because, guys, what I said at the beginning about you getting in your cars, listening to your radio, putting on what you want to put on, and saying what you want to put on, keep thinking about it. Don't you feel it slipping away?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you feel it slipping away?
We're losing the country. We're losing the goddamn country. I can't listen to anything I want to fucking listen to. Yes, the fuck you can, man. And nobody tell you can't. As a matter of fact, the irony of this is that you are the same motherfuckers who were telling people that they can't read certain books, that they can't watch certain movies. As a matter of fact, Project 2025, if you are someone who enjoys pornography, right? And its irony is like the irony in all of this is that so many people on the right love watching pornography. Like you see some of the when Pornhub would come out with some of the top searches in some of these Republican stronghold states and shit. And it's basically everything that they say they're against. Like, yo, they like porn just like you like porn. But you know, Project 2025 is saying, yo, if you're a porn actor, you should be locked up. That pornography should be illegal. So here you are talking about the country slipping away, and they're taking your rights away from you. Meanwhile, you're doing the exact same thing that you claim to be against. The hypocrisy knows no fucking bounds. This man is standing in a church advocating for murder, advocating for extrajudicial killings at that. Just send the boys in blue and have them handle it. Send the guys in green and go have them handle it. Some people need killing. That's what that man said. Also, this man was endorsed by Donald Trump, right? And the reason why we know this man was endorsed by Donald Trump, because we got video of this man being endorsed by Donald Trump. All right. We got video of this shit. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? I know I got it. It's in here somewhere. I've been saving a lot of shit today. Where is it? Nope, that ain't it. Here we go. Found the video. All right, so let me share this here with you guys so we can watch right here together as a family. But yeah, check this out. This is Donald Trump endorsing.
We will rock you.
We are in a dangerous situation. Never before has America been in peril like she is right now. But never before has America had an answer like we have in Donald J. Trump. And Bishop, all the members of the legislature of North Carolina, the same thing is true for North Carolina. North Carolina, never before in her history has she had an opportunity to grow like she can potentially grow. Never before has she had the opportunity to be led by folks who actually understand the people of North Carolina, not the political systems that make the politicians richer and the people poor. We have an opportunity to actually grow this state from Murphy to Manio, and we need to take advantage of that. That's the reason why I'm running for governor. That's the reason why I'm looking forward to winning on Tuesday, and that's the reason why I'm looking forward for a victory in November, because the road to the White House runs directly through North Carolina. And President Donald J. Trump will fight it.
But, you know, I heard him coming in on the plane. I was listening, and I said to the people on the plane, watch this. This is Martin Luther King on steroids, okay? Now, I told that...
Now, I am sure that if Martin Luther King had have heard Donald Trump say this bullshit right here, y'all know what his reaction would have been.
A lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
They ain't got no sense, man. How on earth can we listen to nonviolent Martin Luther King? You comparing the same dude, you comparing that guy to Martin Luther King. We watched this man go into a pulpit and advocate for murder, and you're saying that that guy is Martin Luther King on steroids. Shows you just how much Donald Trump knows about Dr. King and what Dr. King stood for. Also shows you just how much and how twisted Republicans are when they try to whitewash Dr. King and Dr. King's message and his methods and everything else. Dr. King was very unpopular when he died. Very unpopular. As a matter of fact, I believe Arizona was the last state to even accept Dr. King's birthday as being a holiday, and that was in the 1990s. John McCain voted against that. I remember. But this is who Donald Trump says is Martin Luther King on steroids.
I told that to Mark. I said, I think you're better than Martin Luther King. I think you are Martin Luther King times 2. And he looked at me, and I wasn't sure, was he angry because that's a terrible thing to say, or was he complimented? I have never figured it out. But I'm telling you, he was mad.
He was mad because Mark Robinson isn't a big fan of Dr. King.
Makes me sick, motherfucker, how far we done fell.
Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that if Mark Robinson could, he would really tell Donald Trump this shit, man. Just
delete all that shit. Delete all that shit. That's playing with you, piggy.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Craziness. We got a comment here in the chat. Courtney says, let's see. By the way, it was with most of the men in the church with the preacher. Yeah. It was with most of the men in the church with the preacher. Yeah. Like, again, this whole idea that, to me, this whole idea that the rhetoric is on a level playing field. If I haven't demonstrated anything else today, what I want you motherfuckers to leave this podcast with is that, like, nah, nigga, it is not the same. It is not the same in the slightest bit. But this is who Donald Trump endorsed for governor in the state of North Carolina. Now, another story that we got, because there's so many, man. There's so many different fucking examples, bro. Let's see what else we got here. Here's a dude from Project 2025. All right, so Project 2025, the guy who's control of that, the leader of the Heritage Foundation. Right, I'm trying to pull this video up because I do have video associated with this. Let me see if I can go. I wish I can organize this better on my pocket, but I can't really. Here it is. Okay, so here's a guy who's the person who is leading the charge on the Project 2025, and this was what he had to say about Project 2025, and he essentially called it a second American Revolution. And pull this up so you guys can see for yourself.
But number 3, let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
So they've already been talking as though they wanted to come to arms and enforce what they believe is their right to a certain type of American government, never really considering, right? And I think this is the other part that I think is very important, never really considering that the vast majority of their agenda is very unpopular with the American people, and that they represent a small minority of the American people. They have an outsized influence in the government because of the way our government is structured, but they represent a very small group of people in comparison to what the actual voting populace represents. You think about the one time that Donald Trump was in the White House, he wasn't the popular choice. He lost the popular vote both times. The last two Republican presidents, both of them got into the office being the person who got the least amount of votes. George W. Bush, Donald Trump. They got the least amount of votes and they were both installed in the White House. One by because of the machinations of the Electoral College, the other by the machinations of the Supreme Court that put him there. And now we have a Supreme Court that leans largely right, where at least 5 of those judges, I believe, were put there by 2 presidents who got the least amount of votes that got them into the White House. So they are representing a large minority. They're representing a minority in this country. And so what we're seeing is, because they know they represent a minority in this country, this is an overt power grab to totally restructure the government to keep them in a permanent power class, because they know and they recognize that their grip on what this country looks like and who this country is largely going to represent, they're representing a smaller portion of that. Right? But yeah, Second American Revolution. So I want you guys, again, like I said, I want you guys to understand, like, this isn't an equal, we are not on equal playing fields here. I mean, you just think about how many Republicans go out on and campaign with guns in their campaign ads and shit, right? Like, that's just something that they do. Like, I don't know any Democrats who've ever been in, like, you know, and that's to say that there haven't been. I'm just not aware of them. And if there are some, send them to me, right? But how many times do we see Republicans in their campaign ads shooting guns and using crosshairs and shit in their online advertisements and shit? Everything is gun related to them. They're always talking about revolution. They're always talking about the Second Amendment. They're always talking about they got guns and all this other shit. And it's not to say that people on the left ain't got no guns, because I'd be goddamn if I ain't got no guns. But I'm just saying, when you talk to these folks, this is how they present, right? Because again, this isn't equal. It's not equal by any stretch. Check this out.
I believe in Jesus, guns, and babies.
It wasn't designed for hunting. This is designed to kill people.
Democrats like to say that no one needs an AR-15 for self-defense, that no one could possibly need all 30 rounds.
My father taught me how to handle my first gun. I taught my son Oliver how to do the same. I've been shooting and hunting my whole life. So when people say I won't support guns, they're dead wrong. Boom!
But when this rifle is the only thing standing between your family and a dozen angry Democrats in Klan hoods.
Considering that most of those people in those Klan hoods would probably be Republican today, I think Buddy is like really on some, like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's as if like like they totally are devoid of learning what the Southern strategy was. and like not only the Southern strategy, but the Lily White movement and everything else, where white supremacists slowly over years started gravitating towards the Republican Party. And now this same Republican Party had a dude in the Capitol on January 6th walking around with the fucking Confederate flag. Please stop it with the Democrat Klan people coming to your house, nigga. Stop it.
You just might need that semi-automatic.
It's a DC gang!
The good people of Arizona have had enough of you. It's time for a showdown.
So in this particular ad, this dude is going to have a shootout at the OK Corral with Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and I believe that's Gabby Gifford's husband, who's a senator in Arizona. But he's framing this as an OK Corral shootout in his campaign ad. It's crazy.
I'm Eric Greitens, Navy SEAL, and today we're going rhino hunting. The rhino feeds on corruption and is marked by the stripes of cowardice.
Now, in this video, he's talking about he's going rhino hunting. Now, we know that rhino hunting is Republicans in name only, right? So now he's not even just going after Democrats. He's going after Republicans that he don't agree with. Craziness.
Join the MAGA crew. Get a rhino hunting permit. There's no bagging limit, no tagging limit, and it doesn't expire until we save our country.
The Second Amendment is not about duck hunting. It's about protecting your family and your country. What's the first thing the Taliban did when Joe Biden handed them Afghanistan? They took away people's guns.
I'm a MAGA mom. I don't shut up, and I won't sit on the sidelines.
Government of the people, by the people.
The founding fathers created one nation, indivisible under God. There is no worthier cause.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to return this country back to its former glory. And if I gotta kick down doors, well, that's just what patriots do.
Kate kicks so much liberal butt, I bet her leg's tired.
No step too high for a high stepper.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
I'll make sure we always have the right to protect ourselves and our families. Now is the time. It's time to step up, to step into the arena.
For years, I've held a gun permit for safety, security, and just cause. The Second Amendment is sacred.
Now, she said for safety and security and all this other stuff, but, you know, Kay Ivey has like rejected funding from the federal government to actually have kids have food during the summer. Kids who would normally go to school and have lunch and breakfast at school, the federal government was sending funds to these states where they would still be able to let these kids eat during the summertime. Kay Ivey and plenty of other Republican governors decided that that's something that they wouldn't be that's something that they wouldn't advocate for. They don't want people to become dependent on welfare or anything else. Be reminded of that anytime they talk to you about them being pro-life. You want the kid born, but you don't want the kid to eat. Make that make sense.
So I passed concealed carry for Alabamians to arm themselves without government interference. That way, you don't know who's got what in their purse. Lipstick, an iPhone, or maybe a little Smith & Wesson 38.
Yeah, so the idea that we are on equal playing field with these folks when it comes to the rhetoric needing to be toned down. I'm going to need everybody in the media right now to get the fuck up out my face with that bullshit. Get the fuck up out my face with that bullshit. Over these years, we have seen countless examples of the right wing being overtly violent in their rhetoric, overtly aggressive in their messaging, And at this point, it's become one of those things where, you know what? Someone said it better than I probably would. Someone once said it better than I probably would. Let me get to that, and then we can get on up out of here. But I saw this once, and it came to mind today. And yeah, man. So I'll pull this up real quick. All right, here we go. But it made me think of this. Not to say that I wanted whatever happened to Donald Trump to happen to him, because I don't. You know, I know folks are joking about that shit and everything else. I was at home when that shit happened. It wasn't me. I've never advocated for anybody to be killed or none of this shit. Real talk. But knowing what we like, going through what we've just kind of like, this rundown that we just kind of run through. It just made me think of this right here, man.
Mr. X, don't you even feel a little bit of remorse, saddened by the President Kennedy's assassination?
Well, sir, I don't think anybody here would deny that when you send your chickens out in the morning from your barnyard, those chickens will return that evening to your barnyard, not your neighbor's barnyard. I think this is a prime example of the devil's chickens coming back home to roost. That the chickens that he sent out, the violence that he's perpetrated in other countries, here and abroad, be it 4 children in Birmingham or Medgar Evers or Lumumba over in Africa, I think this same violence has come back to claim one of their own. Now, being an old farm boy myself, chickens coming home to roost never made me sad. In fact, it's only made me glad.
I like to follow.
All right. So, yeah, man, it's, this is been real interesting. Like I said, the last the last 24 hours, bro, it's only been 24 hours. And, it's so much, online, to sift through. And I honestly, I will say this, just on keeping the shit healthy for folk. It's okay to pull away from the chatter. It's okay to pull away from feeling as though you have to say something about everything. And I know it's ironic coming from me, but no, I think it was important for me today to just lay out why I thought the media is gaslighting us right now in trying to make people who have been largely the targets of some of this rhetoric to make us feel as though we're complicit in what's been happening to us. Right. And that's why I think it was important for me to just kind of run down some of the things that I ran down today. Like, nah, this isn't a both sides fucking thing. And I'm not going to be gaslit by this media to make me feel as though these things are the equivalent, because they're not. They haven't been for a long time. Since Donald Trump came down that escalator in 2015 and announced his run for presidency, he started off talking about the people with whom he had issues with, talking about the people with whom he was going to marginalize. He started that off from the very motherfucking beginning. Unfortunately, that rhetoric has been ratcheted up over the course of the years since he became one of the more prominent Republican politicians. So much so that it might have just came back to bite him. Now, I'm sure he wouldn't say that, but we just ran down all of the examples of who's been promoting a lot of that shit. We have. And so hopefully we get some clarity on this shit. Hopefully we get back to talking about the substantive issues that is facing this nation, that people are talking about. It's politics and we should be able to agree to disagree. What I will say is this. My existence is not up for motherfucking debate. And far too often, Republicans have been promoting programs or promoting policy that would have adverse effects on not just myself, but on those I love. And I will never stand by and allow that shit to just happen. And I will also not be gaslit by this media to make us feel as though we're complicit in the shit that's being aimed at us. So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say tonight, man. I think I talked enough tonight, man. Real talk. But of course, before we get out of here, I got to remind you guys how to get in touch with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and let your voice be heard. Go ahead and hit up that hotline at area code 313-288-0485. That's area code 313-288-0485. Leave us those voicemail messages. Those messages will get played here live on the show and responded to in kind. You can also email us here at feedback@thespanreport.com. That's feedback@thespanreport.com. Go ahead, leave us those emails. And of course, those emails will get right here and reply to here live as well. Follow me on Threads and Instagram. My name on both of those platforms is Mr._Spann. So go ahead, follow me there throughout the week. Chop it up with me throughout the week. Excuse me. Also, iTunes and or Spotify, man. Subscribe to the show on iTunes and or Spotify, but also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and or Spotify. Those 5-star reviews are the ones that get read here live on the show. We really appreciate everybody who does that. Doesn't cost you a dime, just a couple minutes of your time to let everybody know why you're rocking with us over here at the Mr. Spann Official Podcast and the Spann Report Podcast Network in its entirety. But also, before I get on up out of here, I did forget, we had a poll for last night's episode on whether or not you believe the Trump shooting was staged. And I meant to talk about this when we're talking about the Blue Anon thing. But the poll results that we have so far, because I'm probably going to be on the mic again Saturday. But so far, 50% of y'all don't really know, which is pretty much where I feel. I'm like, I don't really know. 25% of people feel like that was staged. And 25% of people say, nah, that was a real thing. So I'm sure over the course of the week, more people may have a chance to vote in that poll. But I just wanted to get that out before we got out of here tonight. That like even when they were talking about this being a Blue Anon thing, it's like, no, people have been gaslit. Y'all have been telling us that this man has been a liar 30,000 times over as president. You can't blame folks for not believing that this is part of some bullshit. Like, you just fucking can't. So yeah, man, we got that going on. But leave us that 5-star review, though. I appreciate everybody who does that. Also, leave us those comments on Spotify as well. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the show on YouTube. Subscribe and leave us those comments on YouTube as well, man. We really appreciate everybody who does that. It's another way for you to be a part of the conversation, and that's what we want. We want people to be included in the conversation. So, yeah, man, I am about to get on up out of here. I will talk to you guys again soon. But until next time, fam, peace.